What if I told you Honda just built a motorcycle that looks like it time traveled straight from the 80s, but secretly punches like a modern leader bike? Yeah, that's exactly what the 2026 Honda CB1000F is doing. And honestly, this might be one of the boldest moves Honda has made in years. Because at first glance, you see classic round headlight, flat seat, clean tank, pure retro. But then you check the specs and suddenly this old-school machine starts looking very dangerous. So the big question is the CB1000F just a nostalgic design exercise, or did Honda accidentally build one of the best naked bikes of 2026? Let's break it down. The first thing that grabs your attention is obviously the design. Honda went full retro, and they didn't hold back. You get a round LED headlight, a boxy, muscular fuel tank, and a long, flat bench seat that screams classic CB heritage. But look closer, and you'll notice this isn't a museum piece. Modern LED lighting, minimal tail section, clean exposed frame, and that aggressive stance. It's like Honda asked, what if the old CB750 hit the gym and never skipped leg day? And honestly, it works. From the side profile, the bike looks balanced and muscular without being bulky. No unnecessary plastic, no weird angles, just clean, timeless lines. But here's where it gets interesting. Because Honda didn't just make it look retro, they built it on a very modern foundation. Underneath that classic styling sits a 999cc inline-four engine derived from Honda's modern performance lineup. Yes, this retro bike is packing leader bike DNA. We're expecting around 145 horsepower, which immediately changes the conversation. This isn't just a chill Sunday cruiser. This thing can move. And here's the fun part. Imagine pulling up next to someone who thinks you're riding a vintage bike, and then you launch. Yeah, they won't see you again. The inline-four delivers smooth power across the rev range, with strong mid-range torque for street riding. That means you don't need to scream it to redline just to have fun. But if you do rev it out, it'll reward you. So now we've got retro looks, modern leader bike power, but what about the ride? Because horsepower is fun until the bike handles like a shopping cart. Honda built the CB1000F on a modern steel backbone frame designed for stability and everyday usability. This isn't a track-only weapon, it's meant to be rideable. Up front, you get fully adjustable USD forks, and at the rear, a monoshock setup tuned for comfort and performance balance. Translation, you can commute on it, you can carve canyons, and you won't hate your life after 30 minutes. Honda clearly designed this bike for real-world riders, not just spec sheet warriors. But wait, because Honda didn't stop at performance and comfort, they loaded it with tech too. And this is where the CB1000F stops pretending to be old school. You get a full digital TFT display, multiple ride modes, traction control, wheelie control, and ABS. Yes, wheelie control, because apparently Honda knows exactly what you're thinking. The TFT screen keeps things modern while still fitting the bike's minimalist vibe. Bluetooth connectivity is expected, along with navigation and phone integration. So while the bike looks like it belongs in 1982, the electronics bring it straight into 2026. And here's something important. Honda usually tunes their electronics to be smooth and predictable. That means no overly aggressive intervention, just confidence, which makes this bike beginner-friendly. Well, beginner-friendly for a 145 horsepower motorcycle, if that even exists. But all of this leads to the biggest question. Who is this bike actually for? The 2026 Honda CB1000F sits in a very interesting position. It's not as aggressive as a street fighter, not as relaxed as a cruiser, not as futuristic as modern nakeds. It's something different. This is for riders who want classic looks but don't want old bike problems, for riders who want power but don't want uncomfortable ergonomics, for riders who want style without sacrificing performance. And honestly, that's a huge audience. This could easily become one of the most popular leader-class naked bikes, especially for riders upgrading from middleweights. But before you decide, there's one more thing we need to talk about: the pricing. Honda hasn't officially confirmed the final price yet, but expectations put the CB1000F around the $11,500 to $12,500 range. And if Honda actually lands in that window, this bike becomes very hard to ignore, because you're getting retro styling, leader bike power, modern electronics, comfortable ergonomics, and Honda reliability. That's a dangerous combination. But here's the real cliffhanger. This bike might not just compete with other nakeds, it might create an entirely new category: retro performance leader bikes. And if this takes off, expect other manufacturers to follow. So, the 2026 Honda CB1000F, retro soul, modern muscle, and possibly one of Honda's smartest releases in years. It's stylish, powerful, comfortable, and packed with just enough tech to keep things exciting. But the real question is, would you pick this over something more aggressive like a Street Fighter, or does the retro look win you over? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see another bike that might compete directly with the CB1000F, check out the video appearing on your screen right now, where I break down one of the most underrated naked bikes you can buy. Trust me, if you like this Honda, you'll definitely want to watch that next. See you in the next one.